Better resort facilities than the Mandarin, more refined than the Peninsula, a better location than the Siam, and a heck of a lot more personality than the Capella. The new Four Seasons is the best hotel in Bangkok. Bangkok is one of the best hotel cities on earth. Depending on how you count them, the city is home to somewhere between 110 and 120 five-star properties. The Four Seasons had a bold proposition to break back into this market in December of 2020 after a 6-year absence. Located on 200 meters of river frontage, the Four Seasons is on the southern edge of what I consider the greater downtown area, a 30 or 40 minute drive from either of the airports in Bangkok. In terms of setting, the location is fantastic. In terms of convenience, a little less so, but nothing serious. The property offers a free shuttle boat which can take you to the Saturn Pier, so you can access the closest BTS station. Or you can also take that same shuttle upriver to Icon Siam. A 5-minute walk from the lobby will also bring you to a 7-Eleven or a Starbucks, though the closest Boots or Watson's Pharmacy is a bit further away. Set back from the main road, the entrance is shared by the Capella Hotel on the right, the Four Seasons Residence ahead, and the Four Seasons Hotel. The high walls and the oversized design features give the entrance an exclusive feel without necessarily screaming, "Look at me, I'm at the Four Seasons." You might be surprised to learn that Four Seasons just opened this hotel in a city that has every other luxury brand already. And of course, there's a story behind it. The Four Seasons originally did have a property in central Bangkok, just next to the Hansar Hotel actually, which I reviewed a couple weeks ago. That location originally opened as the Peninsula in 1978. The property changed hands and brands numerous times, and it was a Four Seasons until 2015 when the current owner, Minor Hotels, decided to rebrand it as their own Anantara. So, the city was Four Seasons-less for the next 6 years or so. Owned by Country Holdings Group, a Thai conglomerate, the property was developed alongside the Four Seasons Residence and the smaller Capella Hotel, which opened in October of 2020. During my stay, the fountain pools were being cleaned, but normally the entrances would be flanked on either side with walls cascading water into the black pools below. The interiors were designed by Jean-Michel Gatti of the Malaysian Denniston Group. The group has been designing iconic hotels, or at least parts of them, for the past 30 years. A couple of notches in their belt include the Banyan Tree in Shanghai, Capella Sanya, One and Only Montenegro, and multiple Amman properties, including New York, Bora Bora, and Venice, among others. Interestingly, they also designed the iconic rooftop of the Marina Bay Sands in Singapore. Safe to say, this property was in good hands from the get-go. In the designer's own words, the interiors were meant to be, quote, sometimes dramatic, sometimes intimate, but always charismatic. High ceilings and glass walls provide breathing space, while pools and flowing water echo the constant movement of the Chao Phraya River. In the grandness that is the lobby, the reception area is relatively small. But can I just say for a minute that I appreciate that they maintain a fuss-free check-in experience. You walk up to the desk, you sign some papers, and then you're just whisked away to your room. Sometimes I think too many urban hotels these days try to make the check-in experience its own experience, which simply isn't always necessary. The reception area blends seamlessly into the first, let's say, outdoor zone, covered with floating walkways, figuratively speaking. They're not actually floating. This is also our first glance at the facade of the hotel. Handsome and geometric. I'll be honest, I wasn't too sure about the exterior design until I saw it at night, when in my mind it all made sense. We'll see that in a bit. Not to say that the hotel was designed after a romantic comedy, but this had a very Crazy Rich Asians wedding scene vibe to me. In person, at least. I really appreciate that multiple spaces throughout the hotel serve double duty. Having a lounge and reflecting pool under this block of hotel rooms completely opens up the rest of the resort to the river. Obviously, space constraints play a role in the design of absolutely any urban property, but you don't feel that too much here. With 299 guest rooms, it really is grand and quaint at the same time. On the other side of the courtyard, we have the Bangkok Social Club. The opening of this venue was delayed because of local regulations, but I do believe by the time that this is published, it should be open already. The space instantly draws you back to a time when rum was probably free-flowing and the Buena Vista Social Club was probably playing in the background. It's a pure tropical throwback that is sure to be a hit with tourists and local crowds alike. Back outside now, we're heading to the riverfront pool area, with the Riva restaurant to the left. Riva, which we'll take a look at a bit later, is open throughout the day. I think the pool area and Riverfront Promenade are without a doubt what raises this hotel far above its competition in the area. It truly is, in every sense of the word, an urban resort with loungers by the way that are so comfortable you'll probably have trouble keeping your eyes open. In front of us on the far side of the pool is the Brasserie Palmier. This venue is open for lunch and dinner Wednesdays through Sundays. Today was Tuesday. But just from the outdoor areas, we can imagine the continuation of the period but modern tropical vibe. The Brasserie leads to the promenade, and let me tell you the 3 reasons why I love this area so much. First, the view. I think that's a given. Next, the landscaping. It's planned and it's manicured, but it feels indigenous to the area, as if the hotel was built around it. Finally, the couches that you'll see in a moment. Many riverfront hotels reserve this prime real estate for outdoor dining or cocktail hours, and that's fine. But I think it's very welcome to have a comfortable and casual area in the middle of all this luxury. I do believe the room is about ready, so follow me up to the 8th floor. For every bit of the hotel that is grand and over the top, the room designs are much more subdued, plush and comfortable, but without being boring. The views change as the price goes up, of course, but this is basically the standard room layout at the hotel. A heavenly king bed, chaise lounge to soak up the view, table and chair that can double as a desk, a daybed, and then the bathroom, bar, and storage areas. Of course, the hotel is built with all of the devices that you have in mind, with a mini Bose speaker available to use as well. If I could change one thing about these controls though, I wish you could open and close the drapes from both sides of the bed. Each room is outfitted with an iPad that serves as the hotel's directory and communication device if you wish. You can do everything from request a turn-down service, change the lighting, choose from a long list of amenities available, and even order room service, among many other features. I also appreciate that if you order room service from the iPad, they will continue the conversation, if there is any, via text on the iPad. There are an assortment of books throughout the room, and the one on the right is actually a stationery kit. A very nice COVID kit was also supplied next to a litany of QR codes that you could use to access different menus, should you choose to shun the iPad. The room has shears and a blackout blind, both controlled from the window side of the bed, and here is our partial Riverview. You can of course shell out a few $100 more if you prefer a riverfront room that you can see the back of on the left. There you'll also find the hotel's suites, some of which have large outdoor terraces. Directly across from us is the event and ballroom space as well as the museum, which we'll take a look at. It's been quite a while since I've enjoyed looking at a minibar this much, I'll be honest. I don't believe that glasses always need to be stored in custom leather drawers. If the glasses and the bottles are beautiful, put them on display. Nespresso, tea, glass bottled water, a cordial, and some snacks were available free of charge. The rest with a price, of course. I also appreciate that the cooler was large enough to store some of my own drinks, and there was even a thoughtful pair of baby scissors next to the baby milk carton. The timeless but modern design continued onto the bathroom, where a double vanity was situated across from a low soaking tub. Every single material in this room was top quality, and I found the sound of the soap hitting the soap dish to be very oddly pleasant. Then we have the oversized toilet room with, let's be honest, a shelf that we all appreciate, which was next to the equally spacious shower. And of course, the bathroom could also be closed off with these two sets of sliding doors. The all-important closet was plenty large and had everything you'd expect, and then some thoughtful extras, like a jewelry tray and complimentary shoe shine service for those of you that still shine your shoes. Last, and well, I guess kinda least, the entry had a full-length mirror, small shelf, and a pair of his and hers umbrellas. Indulge me for a moment and let me show you a couple of details in this room that I really enjoyed. I am a fan of Long and Fruit, but this is the first time I've ever seen it match a hotel's design. It caught me off guard when I noticed that the pendant light design was actually inspired by the yellow orchids that sat just beside it. It takes a fine balance to make a room that is predominantly cool earth tones, but still has some life and warmth to it. And even the many gold details that you see that you'd expect to be at least a little bit pretentious, they're not. Everything just worked together nicely. Truly a beautiful room. The sun set over the river, and soon enough the facade of the hotel began to morph with the light. So, normally, I expect higher-end hotels to have smaller portions. Apparently, that does not apply to this hotel. Dinner was delicious, and although I would normally never order something like a pork chop for room service, I did because I appreciate so much the sauce that came with it, a long pepper sauce, a spice that is perhaps the all-time most underrated seasoning on earth. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, do yourself a favor and read a bit about it. Atlas Obscura has a great article on their website. The next morning came, as it usually does, and I found myself at Riva for their extensive and beautiful breakfast buffet. But first, a look around the restaurant. It is not a bad place to start the day. So, a little bit of a spoiler alert. In a few weeks, I'm going to publish my experience at the Capella Hotel just next door. If you happen to watch that video, please remember this buffet when you do. When you watch it, it'll make sense, I assure you. The buffet had absolutely everything you'd need or could imagine. Lots of fresh salad and cold dishes, beautiful pastries, multiple hot stations, as well as a small Japanese station and a gluten-free corner. After breakfast, we head over to the in-house museum, as one does. The hotel was designed with an exhibition space in mind, and the first iteration is a collaboration with Bangkok's Museum of Contemporary Art. The collection was interesting. We make our way past the lobby bar again to this time take a look at the celebrated Yuan. Sporting its own Michelin star, the Cantonese eatery is known for its refined dim sum and Chinese barbecue selections, and is open for lunch and dinner daily. And trust me, it was packed. The design, both opulent and airy at the same time, with multiple rooms to the side for more private parties around massive round tables. And with that, it's time for the flip-flop score. I'm just going to let this run a bit. In case you haven't noticed, the score is going to be pretty decent. The Four Seasons has essentially hit a home run in a city where many would argue it wasn't even necessary. For convenience, I did take 2 points off since there's not really much that you can do within walking distance. But who are we kidding? You probably have your own driver anyway. Overall, a show-stopping 98 out of 100. This hotel was an absolute pleasure to experience. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the tour. Hit that like button and subscribe for 2 new flight or hotel reviews every week. And it's free.